Welcome to Alaska Weather, a production of Alaska Public Media and the National Weather Service, Alaska Region. Produced and broadcast daily from the studios of KAKM, Alaska Weather provides complete forecasts, public, marine, and aviation for all of Alaska. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
The National Weather Service.
Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us here on KAKM this evening for Friday's edition of Alaska Weather. I'm Dave Percy, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, and I'll be hosting tonight's show. Well, this is the scene at Barrel today, where temperatures struggled to reach 30 degrees and winds were out of the northeast, east-northeast, 15 to 30 miles per hour. New snow falling there out today, but generally amounts were less than an inch, and again, pretty wintry looking picture up that way. We've got wind advisories out for until midnight tonight here for the upper Tanana Valley 40-mile country for winds 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusting to 45 miles per hour. And then there's also a wind advisory out for the eastern Alaska range throughout the entire night tonight for 20 to 35 mile an hour winds with gusts of 55 miles per hour. And those higher gust winds are west of the Tok cutoff, and that will begin to diminish toward the morning hours tomorrow. On the fire danger, areas of extreme fire danger, especially there where the winds are blowing here through the Alaska Range passes into the central interior, pretty extreme fire dangers, high fire dangers out to the west. And there, even over the Noatak Valley, some areas still of extreme fire danger, but with the rain, a lot less in the way of any fire concerns here over southern Alaska, except for the extreme northern part of the southeast coast. On the satellite imagery, you can see the one system that moved and brought all the rain in yesterday. A lot of areas down here had more rainfall in the southeast coast yesterday on Thursday than they had during the entire month of May. Places like Pelican had 5 times the amount yesterday of rain fell yesterday that they had during the entire month last month. But kind of a break, a little more showery today, lighter amounts of rain, but some more moisture clouds gathering here to the southwest. A couple of disturbances will be rolling northward. And then we had low pressure coming inland that brought the rain earlier today across much of southern Alaska. Moderate showers, rainfall amounts anywhere from 3/4 of an inch at Cordova to 1.5 inches at Seward. Otherwise, Wasilla and Eagle had about 1/3 of an inch of rain today. See a lot of moisture up here over the northeastern interior as well. And then the clouds, wind, and snow there on the western and central Arctic coastal areas. Kind of a foggy, damp day on the east side too with some drizzle. This mostly is mid and high level clouds here sliding southeastward, and winds gusting up to 30 miles an hour there at Point Hope from the northwest, and some partial clearing over the Pribilof Islands coming through that high cloud deck. And taking a look at the surface map, or one more loop here, you can see this area of cirrus dropping southeastward, but not too bad out over the Aleutians. That's the next front. Will bring a chance of rain into the area later on tonight. On the chart, there's the scattered shower conditions over the southeast coast. Isolated thunderstorms formed over the Kilbuck Mountains as well as the western Alaska Range, and the Talkeetnas had some lightning strikes, and up along the eastern Alaska Range over to the Wrangell Mountains, and then on into Canada. Showers of this 994 millibar low up over the northeast interior, and then we had the snow here on the central and western Arctic coast, and a lot of light rain or drizzle there over on the east side, with a little bit less in the way of wind, more of 10 to 20 miles per hour as opposed to the 15 to 30, in some cases gusts as high as 35 miles an hour that occurred along the western Arctic coast. And for tonight, I've got this low, so still some isolated thunderstorms possible here over the southwest interior, northeast Bristol Bay. Look for scattered showers, but showers diminishing here throughout the overnight hours to isolated thunderstorms possible over the eastern interior areas. Again, the winds continuing to blow gusts of 55 miles an hour through the passes of the Alaska Range, the eastern Alaska Range, again, the west of the toe cutoff area. Throughout much of the night tonight, but that'll begin to diminish toward morning. Still looking at some snow possibilities up along the Arctic coast. Barrow forecast up to an inch of snow falling tonight up there. Otherwise, more of a mixed condition off to the east, and then the rain on the increase here with this next frontal boundary moving upward. That'll keep showers going along the North Gulf Coast, but look for the rain chances to increase here over the northern panhandle with still some scattered showers on down to the south. Out over the Bering Sea, not much going on at all. Pretty benign weather with some low clouds, patchy areas of fog, as well as some clearing here over the Alaska Peninsula down over the eastern Aleutians. Then this front later tonight brings a chance of rain up to the western Aleutians, but winds not much of a problem with that system. And then it looks pretty wet for tomorrow from Shimia. That'll all slide into the Adak and Atka area during the afternoon hours. But again, winds 15 to maybe 25 miles per hour out of the east and southeast. So no gales definitely, and probably not even small craft advisories. Pretty light winds with generally cloudy skies, but there will be some clearing here over the southeast Bering Sea. The Pribilofs could see a look at the sun again tomorrow, as well as the Alaska Peninsula. Eastern Aleutians, light winds, mostly cloudy skies. 1,007 millibar low here in over the Kuskokwim Valley, Kuskokwim Delta, with a trough up the Kuskokwim Valley. That'll be good to kick off a few showers. Again, isolated thunderstorms possible around the Denali National Park area, as well as the Wrangell Mountains and the eastern Alaska Range. Not too bad over the 40-mile country in upper Tanana Valley, partly to mostly sunny skies. And then more of a thunderstorm threat again, or scattered isolated showers there as you get up to Eagle, and then some scattered showers over the eastern Brooks Range. Still a possibility of some rain or rain and snow mixed there along the eastern Arctic coast. Still cold enough back here to the west. Whatever falls will probably be in the form of snow, but not looking for a whole lot. Most of that moisture now off over into Russia. So look for some partial clearing here over the Seward Peninsula areas and the Noatak Valley, Kotzebue Sound. Not looking too bad. This system, warm front here, new low coming up from the southeast there, spreading rain. Looks like a pretty wet day for tomorrow here, just about all along the southeast coast up to about Yakutat. It becomes a little more showery from Yakutat back to Cordova. Showers of Prince William Sound, scattered isolated showers in the morning hours, become a little more widespread, especially over the mountains or south central Alaska, Cook Inlet. Not too bad. Partly sunny skies there, partly sunny up in the valleys as well, but still those afternoon showers developing over the mountainous terrain. And again, the rain here, this front on Sunday, really stretches out with some rainfall sliding into the eastern Aleutians and some areas of light rain, fog, and drizzle extending back towards Shimia, the main low, staying down to the south there, so not much in the way of any wind with that feature. Weak low here at the surface associated with an upper level low over the northern Bering Sea. That'll keep showers going here along the southwest coast, Nunivak Island up to St. Lawrence Island. Chance of showers along the southern coast of the Seward Peninsula and Nome over to White Mountain, Golovin, in to the west central interior. Eastern interior looks pretty good, especially over the mountainous terrain for some scattered showers. A little more widespread in the afternoon hours for the Talkeetnas, Copper River Basin. Same story here for south central Alaska. Scattered showers mainly near the mountains for the Kenai Peninsula, up into the Matanuska, Susitna Valley areas. Back to the northwest, not looking too bad up there, partly to mostly sunny skies. With the Arctic coast, those winds holding on through tonight and then beginning to diminish back to tomorrow down to about 10 to 20 miles an hour. And then you can see on Sunday, really lays down quite a bit, just about no gradient at all along the western Arctic coast down into the Chukchi Sea and the Seward Peninsula. And even the Bering Sea not seeing much in the way of wind. A little more gradient, those southerly winds again, probably tomorrow afternoon and again Sunday, but not quite as strong as what they've been, mostly south to southeast, 15 to 25 miles an hour through the eastern passes of the eastern Alaska Range area, Copper River Valley, southerlies 10 to 20 miles per hour. So still breezy, but the wind's down quite a bit. Fire danger down as well with the more showery conditions in the area there. And that bulk of the moisture moves through tomorrow night. And early on Sunday, that should be all off into Canada with a trough. So rain changing to showers. diminishing in the afternoon hours with partial clearing there for the southeast coast. Temperatures down along the panhandle this afternoon, mostly in the 50s, ranging from the upper 40s to mid 50s. 55 pretty common temperature here at AKwx as well as at Petersburg. 53 at Sitka, also 53 at the state capital, and Yakutat with 53 degrees and some sunshine this afternoon. 50 over at Cordova. Valdez just 46 degrees. And 59 degrees there with those winds gusting to 35 miles per hour at Gulkana. 63 at Northway, same temperature there recorded at Fairbanks, up to 57 at Fort Yukon, 55 at Arctic Village, only 39 degrees there at Anatuvik. Up along the Arctic coast with the clouds, snow, and gusty northeast winds. Just 30 degrees at Barrow, and that's Dead Horse at 32. Not much milder at Atasuk with 30 degrees also. Point Lay at 33, Cape Lisborne at 30 degrees, and then up to 40 there at Kivalina, 44 at Kotzebue, 39, all they could push up to at 4 p.m. at Nome with 46, a little warmer there at Golovin. 41 at Unalakleet in the Kuskokwim Valley, McGrath at 53 degrees, lower to mid-50s down the river valley there to Bethel at 51. Only 38 degrees there at St. Mary's this afternoon, 39 at Nunavak, and 46 at St. Paul, 43 there at St. George on the Pribilof Islands, and mid-40s for the Alaska Peninsula, a little milder there with more sunshine here on the Pacific side of the peninsula, allowed temperatures up into the mid-50s there at Sand Point with mid-40s on the Bering Sea side. 52 at King Salmon, that's 54 degree reading this afternoon at Kodiak with 55 up at Homer, and only 49 this afternoon at Kenai. It's about not too much different from the Aleutians, and then Shemya just 39 degrees. Lows for tonight here up along the Arctic coast, mid to upper 20s there, so the coldest conditions here on the western North Slope and Arctic coastal areas, a little milder near freezing along the eastern coastline there, and then into the mid 40s here for the upper Yukon Valley and the central interior. Cooling back into the 30s over the Seward Peninsula, northern Bering Sea, near 40 down there on the Pribilofs. Aleutians, temperatures ranging upper 30s to lower 40s, right up the Alaska Peninsula there to mid-40s into Bristol Bay. Mostly in the 40s here over southern Alaska, mid to upper 40s, some cases even the lower 50s over the southern southeast coast. And for highs tomorrow, mostly in the 50s to near 60 here across the Panhandle, warmest conditions down to the south, and upper 50s to lower 60s over south central Alaska and the Copper River Basin. Look for highs into the 60s here over the east central interior, 66 a forecast high at both Fairbanks and Fort Yukon, and also at Eagle, 62 for Tanana. A little milder up in the Brooks Range tomorrow, highs near 50 at Anatuvik, 56 at Arctic Village, and Arctic coast now back above freezing, upper 30s there for Barrow and Wainwright, with mid-40s to lower 50s over the northwest part of the state, and upper 50s to lower 60s there for the southwest coast, and the Aleutians and Bering Sea look mostly in the 40s to lower 50s. Flying weather, again, scattered thunderstorms here through the central interior tomorrow. IFR there along just about all of the eastern Arctic coast with better conditions in that easterly flow. Could be VFR on the western Arctic coast, otherwise pretty good area of IFR out here over the north central Bering Sea down to about the Pribilof Islands, and IFR also forecast here for much of the western and central Aleutians, and then you get into the marginal VFR from about Atka Island over to Nikolsky, with marginal VFR up into southern Bristol Bay, but the Alaska Peninsula not looking too bad. Again, the lower cloud deck here on the Bering Sea side, better conditions too, in some cases clear skies on the Pacific side. Marginal VFR along the east side of Kodiak Island, and then improving conditions here throughout the day for western Cook Inlet, but marginal VFR holding here on the eastern passes of on the eastern approaches of the western passes, and then with all that moisture streaming northeastward, spreading more rain into the Panhandle, of course with that IFR out along the coastline, marginal VFR farther inland. And for the passes, Anatuvik should be open north and south and through the pass. Adigan, same forecast, VFR conditions tomorrow. Lake Clark and Merrill starting out marginal, becoming VFR, but marginal VFR holding on the east entrance of both of those passes. And for Rainy, looks chance of a thunderstorm, but marginal VFR becoming VFR even on the eastern approach tomorrow afternoon. And then for windy, marginal VFR, improving the VFR conditions, chance of a thunderstorm through the pass as well. Isabel, VFR, risk of an isolated thunderstorm or two. Same forecast for Mentasta. Tanita looking pretty good. And Portage, marginal VFR becoming VFR, but marginal VFR holding here on the eastern approach, VFR to the west. And for Chilkoot and White, marginal conditions. Freezing levels showing a pretty good pool of cool air aloft here at about 4,000 feet from south central Alaska right into the northern panhandle, and warming up about 4,000 feet down toward Dixon Entrance. And then cooler conditions here again over the Arctic coast, kind of sliding down, still below freezing tomorrow morning, but rising above freezing in the afternoon. The 2,000-foot freezing level kind of working its way back to the west as this area pushes southward, 6,000 to 8,000 feet over the western central Aleutians. Icing threats, the moisture, a lot of moisture coming up. We've got some rime icing pretty well entrenched over the southeast coast, back along the North Gulf Coast, areas of rime to isolated mixed icing here over the eastern interior areas. Pretty icing free back here to the west and down over much of the Bering Sea, and with that next system, some more rime icing pushing into the western Aleutians. And here's the upper level low over the northwest interior. We've got westerlies across the southern Bering Sea at about 60 knots. The main jet here down to the south, but coming southwest to northeast here, right into the panhandle. That's going to pull all that moisture right up into the area tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and into early Sunday before it comes more showery in the afternoon. And for the 9,000-foot winds, southwesterlies 15 to 20 knots over the interior here, more of a variable to easterly direction over southern Alaska, but really not too strong anywhere. Maybe down southwest of the Queen Charlotte Islands seem to be the strongest winds, both at 9 and 3,000 feet. Turbulence-wise, occasional moderate chop up around Skagway, otherwise smooth along the panhandle. All this stuff staying off the coast, and maybe a little bit of isolated to moderate turbulence up over the northwest coast, and again out here over the western Aleutians. Otherwise, no significant turbulence through much of interior Alaska at all, from the Arctic coast down to the Gulf of Alaska. And after hangar flying, I'll be back with a look at the marine forecasts.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor with the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health here in Anchorage. This evening, we are happy to have Dr. Dave Schwartz on our show. Welcome to Hangar Flying, Dave.
Thank you very much, Mary.
Dave is a senior engineer at the Anchorage Aircraft Certification Office with the Federal Aviation Administration here in Anchorage. He is also the featured presenter at the FAA's annual Pancake Breakfast being held tomorrow, June 6th. This is the 24th annual Pancake Breakfast. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of fun too. We get to collect some of the FAA upper management. You know, Administrator Kerry Long will be there, our new regional flight surgeon. He'll also be there. So you get to meet a lot of people and ask them questions, and you get pancakes too.
That sounds great. Can you tell us, it's happening tomorrow, June 6th. What time should people be at the Pancake Breakfast?
Well, I think the first pancakes will be coming off the griddle around 9 o'clock. You can either fly in or you can drive in. Should be a lot of fun. Blueberry pancakes, coffee, orange juice, sausage, good time.
That sounds good. Where should people go for pancakes?
Well, like previous years, it's going to be in the New Horizons hangar. It's right next to the Glacier Air Parts. If you've been up there to the Palmer Airport, just land on the main runway, taxi over, watch little kids running around and stuff as you're pulling in. You can either drive or you can fly. Sometimes we get good weather, sometimes we don't. If we get good weather, it's a great way to fly in. If we don't, then automobiles work too.
It sounds like driving could be a safe alternate.
Yes.
Okay. So you mentioned children. Is this a family-friendly event?
It certainly is. We'll have lots of pancakes, both blueberry and plain, and syrup for the kids. I know they often like that, maybe a little more than their parents do. But yeah, there'll be a few little events for the kids too, and it's a good opportunity for kids as well. Great.
If people are looking for some more information about the event, where should they go to find out?
Well, FAAsafety.gov has got a link to it and gives you detailed directions if you can't
drop it off the program here. Just type in your zip code and some radius that'll get you to Palmer, and a link will come up that'll give you the detailed directions on how to get there.
Okay. Do I need to make reservations or send in an RSVP?
No, it's free to anybody who wants to come in. No RSVP. There is wings credit for it, for mechanics, especially if you're a little short on your renewal. So you can come in, listen to me talk about helmets and aviation safety.
So you mentioned that you're going to be talking about helmets. Can you tell us what got you interested in helmets and aviation safety?
Well, I learned to fly in Alaska, and a few years ago I had my own sudden stop in an aircraft, and that, along with my professional work as an engineer, I started doing a study called the Alaska Fatal and Serious Injury study, and one of the things we looked at was post-crash survival. And in the process of that, we looked at all the autopsies that had been done for people pilots especially, that had been killed in aviation accidents. And about 75% of those accidents, the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. Over our study period, we figured that if people had been wearing some kind of an aviation helmet, about 33 people could have been saved. Now, it's not just, the statistics are always a little fuzzy because you can't always repeat an accident, but it could save a lot of people's lives. And recently we've also been monitoring, we've started pushing helmets starting in about 2010, and quite a few people have been wearing them now. Now we have about 4 people who were confirmed saves, that we've inspected the helmet, we've looked at the circumstances of the crash. We're quite sure that at least 4 people, if their lives weren't conclusively saved by the use of a helmet, at least they ended up without such a bad headache.
So you are a confirmed advocate for wearing helmets, and you're going to be talking about this at the Pancake Breakfast on Saturday, correct?
Yep, Saturday, June 6th in Palmer.
In Palmer, 9 o'clock, expect pancakes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. This sounds like a perfect way to spend a Saturday morning, and it's been a pleasure having you on our show.
Thank you very much.
We look forward to having you back next time, and we'll talk some more about helmets and safety gear. Ladies and gentlemen, please consider this your invitation to the FAA's 24th Annual Pancake Breakfast in Palmer. You can come and learn about safety equipment, helmets, get to know the FAA, hang out with friends, and have some great pancakes too. Thank you so much for tuning in to Hangar Flying, and always remember to file a flight plan and fly safely.
Welcome back. We'll look for south to southeast winds, 22, maybe as high as 25 knots down along the south coast. Otherwise, over the inside waters, southerlies 15 to up to 20 knots through northern Lynn Canal. And then on Sunday, south winds 25 knots, so small craft advisories for northern Lynn Canal, south 30 knots there for Stevens Passage. Winds becoming more westerly for Clarence Strait, as well as westerly at about 20 knots here along the central and south coast, west 15 for the north side. For Cook Inlet, light southerlies tomorrow and southeast up to 15 here for the Kamishak Bay area. Otherwise, light variable winds here around Kodiak Island, Fognak Island, the Barrens. Then easterlies 15 up to 20 knots here for the North Gulf Coast, and easterlies only at 10 there for Prince William Sound. And then for Sunday, winds switch around, become west or west-northwest at about 10 for Prince William Sound there. For Sunday, southwest northern Cook Inlet, southerlies at about 15 knots here for southern Cook Inlet down into Kamishak Bay. West-southwesterlies at about 15 for Kodiak Island, and light southwest breeze here for the North Gulf Coast with seas 2 to 5 feet. Bristol Bay, southwesterlies at 15 tomorrow. Otherwise, light variable winds at 10 knots here for the Alaska Peninsula, as well as the waters southwest of Kodiak Island, with seas running 3 to 5 feet. And then for Sunday, southwest 15, but up to 20 knots here from about Chignik over to Cape Sarachev on the Alaska Peninsula. Out in the Aleutians, on the eastern Aleutians, southwesterlies at about 10 knots with seas running 4 to 5 feet, and then becoming easterly at about 20 knots here for the western zone, and then AKwx south to southeast, only at 15 knots, so that front not bringing a lot of wind with it. And then on Sunday, easterlies 20 knots for the central Aleutians, more northeast to 20 for the western zone. And for the Fox Islands, south to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots with seas running 4 to 7 feet. And for the southwest coast, west-southwesterlies 10 to 15 knots, northeast 15 there for St. Lawrence Island, southwest 15 for the Pribilofs. And the outlook for Sunday, southeast at 10, pretty light winds for the Pribilofs, light variable winds for the northern Bering Sea. Southwest is possibly up to 20 knots here north of Nunivak Island, otherwise easterlies at 15 for St. Lawrence Island. And up along the Arctic coast, we've got easterly winds 10 to 15 knots on the east side, picking up to about 20 knots. So winds coming down tomorrow over what they were today up there. But from Wales to Cape Lisburne, small craft advisories there for southerlies up to 25 knots. Otherwise, the western capes here, Cape Thompson to Cape Beaufort, northeast at 20 with 4-foot seas. And then for Sunday there, for the much lighter winds turning northeast and only at about 10 knots, the western Arctic coast there, southwesterlies at about 15 knots, and southerlies on the central coast light, and then easterlies 10 to 15 here for the eastern Beaufort Sea coastline. And for tonight, again, isolated thunderstorms, but the showers generally in a decreasing mode here through interior Alaska. The rain chances on the increase here across the northern southeast coast, staying showery along the North Gulf Coast. Not much going on out in the Bering Sea. Then another disturbance and a lot of moisture, pretty good batch of moisture set to move in across the southeast coast starting tomorrow and tomorrow night. And then on Sunday that moves through and showers change to showers, rain changes to showers and diminish in the afternoon, and some scattered isolated thunderstorms mainly over the eastern interior, some sunshine possibilities out to the west. Have a great weekend.
These forecasts are to be used for planning purposes only. Call 1-800-WX-BRIEF for a formal pre-flight briefing. Always file a flight plan before you go flying. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary urges you to leave a float plan with a friend or the harbor master before you go boating. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
The National Weather Service.